Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press Evening Podcast for April 2nd, 2025. Firstly, we're looking at the ongoing crisis in Myanmar, where a Chinese Red Cross convoy was fired upon by military troops while attempting to deliver aid to affected areas. The incident has raised concerns about the safety of aid workers and the ability to deliver relief to those in need. We've spoken to experts who say that the situation is complex and multifaceted, with the military's actions being unacceptable. In other news, electric vehicle giant Tesla has reported a substantial decline in sales for the first quarter of the year, with global deliveries dropping by 12% compared to the same period last year. The downturn is likely attributed to a combination of factors, including the company's aging lineup, increased competition, and a growing backlash against CEO Elon Musk's politics. Lastly, we're also following a developing story in the United States, where the government is grappling with how to respond to the crisis in Myanmar and other global hotspots. However, our top story tonight is actually about the U.S. trade policy, as President Biden has announced new tariffs on certain goods imported from China, citing national security concerns. These are just a few of the stories we're covering tonight. We'll be diving deeper into each of these topics throughout the evening, with expert analysis and insights. So, now for the latest in social and cultural news. Here's Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, tensions are escalating in the Taiwan Strait as China conducts military drills, prompting a strong response from the United States. We've been analyzing the implications of these developments and exploring the historical context of the Taiwan-China relationship. In other news, disinformation experts have identified false claims being spread on social media during Australia's federal election campaign, targeting Chinese Australians with misleading information about the country's citizenship policy. We urge all voters to be cautious when consuming information online and to verify facts through reputable sources. Lastly, a high-stakes election for a seat on the Wisconsin State Supreme Court has seen a liberal judge claim victory, potentially shifting the balance of power in the state and having broader implications for American democracy. Our analysis suggests that this outcome may serve as a warning sign for Republicans and highlights the importance of judicial elections in shaping policy and governance. These stories and more will be discussed in depth in our upcoming segments. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press. We'll be back with more news and updates after this break. Now for the latest in business and finance. Here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we looked at the increasingly tense trade relations between the United States and Canada. The U.S. has imposed tariffs on Canadian goods, including oil and autos, despite exemptions under the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement. Experts warn that Canada should be prepared for worst-case scenarios and develop a strategic response to the evolving situation. Secondly, we examined the Indian market, which witnessed a consolidation phase today with muted global cues influencing the domestic indices. The Nifty futures closed in negative territory, and experts predict that the market is likely to remain volatile in the coming sessions. They advise investors to stay cautious and follow a disciplined approach to trading. Lastly, we touched on the story of the U.S. becoming an unreliable trade partner, posing significant risks to Canada's economy and security. A recent report highlights the need for Canada to prioritize its economic and security interests while maintaining a balanced approach to negotiations with the U.S. These stories highlight the complexities and uncertainties of global trade and finance. As we move forward, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to the changing landscape. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and updates on these stories as more information becomes available. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored the latest discoveries in space exploration, discussing whether the field has become too routine and lacking in excitement. We examined the arguments presented by an article suggesting that space exploration has lost its allure since the moon landing, but also highlighted the numerous groundbreaking advancements and innovations that continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. In our second story, we delved into the fascinating world of exoplanetary research, where a team of scientists revealed the capabilities of the upcoming Extremely Large Telescope. This powerful tool may potentially detect biosignatures in nearby exoplanet atmospheres in as little as an hour, bringing us closer to answering one of humanity's most profound questions. Are we alone in the universe? Lastly, we reported on the latest findings from the International Space Station and private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, which are making space travel more accessible and affordable. These developments have the potential to inspire future generations of scientists, engineers, and innovators, driving humanity to push beyond its limits. These stories remind us that the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled, and continued exploration and investment can lead to breakthroughs that benefit humanity as a whole. Until next time, keep looking up at those stars and wondering, are we alone? Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. Good night. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm your host, Howard. Tonight, we're covering several exciting developments across various sports leagues. Firstly, in baseball, the San Diego Padres have secured their future by signing star outfielder Jackson Merrill to a 9-year, $135 million contract extension. This deal is a testament to Merrill's exceptional talent and dedication, and it's expected to be a significant factor in the team's success. In the NFL, the league has introduced changes to its overtime rules, ensuring both teams will have a chance to possess the ball unless the first team scores a touchdown. Additionally, the tush-push quarterback sneak will not be banned, at least for now, after an informal vote failed to garner enough support. Moving on to college basketball, Maryland has hired Buzz Williams as their new head coach, following a less-than-amicable split with Kevin Willard, who left for Villanova. Williams brings a wealth of experience and a strong track record, having led Texas A&M to several successful seasons. Lastly, let's take a look at tonight's schedule. The Knicks are set to face off against the Cavaliers, while the Capitals take on the Hurricanes in a crucial NHL matchup. The Spurs will visit the Nuggets in the NBA, and baseball fans can catch the Braves versus Dodgers game on MLB Network. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press podcast. We'll continue to bring you updates on these stories and more as they develop. Until next time, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. Here's a brief summary of our recent stories. We've been following a few key developments over the past week. Firstly, we took a closer look at the Social Security Administration's website disruptions, which left millions of retirees and disabled Americans unable to access their online accounts. We're continuing to monitor this story and will provide updates as more information becomes available. In other news, we explored a remarkable story of resilience and gratitude from the world of magic. Dino, the magician, has been speaking about the life-changing support he received from the National Health Service in managing his chronic health conditions. His journey is a testament to the power of accessible healthcare and community support. We also indulged in a culinary delight as we took a look at a unique story involving food and community. Unfortunately, that story isn't available in this summary, but we did have a chance to explore the world of magic and the impact of public healthcare systems on individuals' lives. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night, and let's keep exploring the extraordinary stories that make up the fabric of our everyday lives. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I've got the scoop on all the latest news. Let's dive right in. First up, we've got some out-of-this-world news. Literally. The Orbital Studio team is making waves in space technology, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and aiming to make humanity a multiplanetary species. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we looked at the alarming decline of amphibian populations worldwide due to habitat destruction, climate change, and disease. This story emphasizes the need for urgent conservation efforts to protect these vital species. Secondly, we visited the Vida Livre Institute in Brazil's Atlantic forest, where a dedicated team is working tirelessly to rehabilitate animals affected by wildlife trafficking. Their remarkable work not only saves individual animals, but also educates the public about the harm caused by buying exotic pets. Lastly, we examined the devastating decline of butterfly populations in the UK, with over half of native species experiencing long-term decline. Conservationists are calling for reduced grass cutting and the creation of more habitat to help these vulnerable creatures. These stories remind us that human actions have a profound impact on the environment and wildlife. By taking small steps to reduce our footprint and create more habitat, we can make a significant difference in the long run. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll continue to bring you updates on these important stories. Until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.